Hello, wrestling fans, and welcome to Wrestling Gab. It is Friday. That means it's time to talk about Smackdown. Look at him, he's got a lot of little kids' football.
He's got a soccer ball.
A foosball.
It's a foosball for all the foosball people.
All right.
Anyways, as all of you know, it's WWE Smackdown. They are in Europe at this time, but it was actually aired earlier, so there are a lot of spoilers out there. So we will not be watching the whole show tonight, but we are going to go over the matches, kind of let you know a little bit of information. If you do not want that information, don't watch right now. Turn us off. Oh no! But we're not going to give the winners. So if you want to know the winners, you're going to have to search that up yourself or watch the whole dang thing. Anyways, they are in Barcelona, and it does start off with LA Knight, as if you are watching it right now, as we do have it on. That's who is coming out. He is the United States champion. He did win it from Nakamura last week, or the week before, or whenever that was.
Probably last week.
Elimination Chamber or whatnot. So he is the wiener, and he's coming out there in Barcelona, Spain. This is the first one. Oh, last Friday.
Boop.
Anyways, let's see. So, excuse me. They did show a whole bunch of people out back and everything, in the back and so on and so forth. All the wrestlers that are there. Randy Orton was shown, Paul Heyman, Cody Rhodes, all those good people. So it was like, hi, a lot of watch-along channels already watched SmackDown. Yep, Sophie, we're not watching it. We're just going to do a cursory... Go ahead.
Just a recap.
We're just going to do a quick recap just off of some information that we have, and then we are going to leave. So again, spoiler, if you guys do want to know what is happening and you have not seen it and are going to be watching it on your television, so it is a taped event, don't watch us. Right now. Run away. All
we are not going to tell you who won, though.
Yeah, we're not going to say all the people who won. We have LA Knight starts off the show. He wants to talk to everybody, but before he can get too far into his stuff, what will happen is Jimmy Uso will come down and interrupt him. Jimmy Uso will take the mic. He'll kind of talk about him and how he needs a chance to go to WrestleMania and all that stuff. And he thinks that the first step to doing that is to...
challenge the LA Knight.
Challenge LA Knight for that U.S. title. But before we can say too much more about it, I guess Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa come out under Jacob Fatu's his music is what interrupts them. And so they come down, and then so you've got LA Knight, Jimmy, Jacob Fatu, and Solo Sikoa tagged along with Tama Tonga. He's out there too. So they're kind of talking back and forth. LA Knight's not really involved in that conversation, I guess. Jimmy kind of talks at Solo, and they kind of tell him that Solo actually kind of tells Jimmy, like, you need to step aside because you're the failure of the family. Right. So they're kind of all being mean to Jimmy Uso, not being very nice.
He doesn't like facts.
So because of that, like, they get in each other's faces, have a bad time, and so the has-been bloodline starts to attack Jimmy and LA Knight. And so there's only two of them out there, right? So who comes to their savior?
Braun Strowman.
Braun Strowman.
As Braun Strowman comes down, obviously, then that makes Nick make a 3-way, or 3-on-3, 6-man tag team match. And then that happens now. I figured it would be the main event, but they did do it immediately at the beginning.
Yes.
And then that caused a match.
Chris says, what up, guys? No spoilers, but I already heard what happened. So did we, Chris. We actually looked it up. We're just kind of giving some cursory information. We're not going to say who is watching, what is. Sophie already told you, this is a spoiler show. We're not going to tell you who the winners are. If you want to know the winners of the matches, you'll have to go and you'll have to look them up yourself or watch the show. We are not going to spoil who wins the match. We're just going to talk about the actual matches that happened. So they had their fight. Everything happens. Some things happen afterwards where Braun Strowman gets beat up pretty badly and everything. And that pretty much is the end of that altercation. From there, they actually jump back to and show the video packages stuff of the fallout with Jade Cargill, Naomi, and Bianca. They do some recap of that stuff. They rehash trash, as I like to call it. And then after they do the rehash trash, they have Kathy Kelly actually standing somewhere in an empty arena with Jade Cargill talking to her. So they have a conversation. She asks her some questions. Kind of like talking that Naomi's a victim. She doesn't understand why she's talking like that.
How do you know it was her? And I seen her walking away from laying on the hood. So still doesn't know it's 100% her.
She was blindsided. She saw Naomi running away. She didn't like it. She thought that Naomi was like a big sister to her, along with Bianca. So she's just not going to take it anymore. She's kind of just done. She can't trust anybody and all that stuff. So then she's kind of interrupted by Liv and Raquel, which we kind of figured at some point they would come into play because she did give her a look during Elimination Chamber, so it wasn't like it was, oh, what's happening? You know, you're not like, oh gosh.
Liv was a smart ass.
Yeah.
Anyway, so now they got a match next week.
Yeah. So now they have a match next week, and she doesn't need.
She said as long as you don't land on any cars between here and then.
Yeah.
That's what Liv told her. Smart ass.
Yeah. So I mean, if that's that's something you can watch if you want to. And then they had a match. We already knew this match was going to happen. It was BFAB versus Charlotte Flair. I guess they had some words. Then they locked up, did some stuff. I feel like these matches last way longer than they should.
Yeah, Charlotte should have squashed her.
It's trying to make they're trying to make these loser ones that aren't very good into something good, but they're really not. So, yeah.
That happened.
And so, I mean, that was a big fight. It lasted longer than I think it should have, but it did, right? And then after that match, Stratton actually came down and just they annihilated each other. Like Flair and Stratton just went after each other, and that was just what happened during that time.
All sorts of fun moves.
Yeah, I mean there was just a lot of stuff. If you want to watch the action, go right ahead. Like I said, we're not going to spoil who actually won the matches. We're just going to go over what matches are happening tonight. Kind of a little bit of stuff here and there, but we're not actually going to tell you who won it. So you can watch it yourself. We don't want to spoil that for you. If you want to, go right ahead. Go fucking watch it. Go see it. Go watch it. Do it. I would rather you guys enjoy it and watch it and not know the outcome. We already do. So we're going to try our hardest not to tell you, though. We're just going to give you things that are happening that we already knew.
Teaser spoilers, but not really spoilers.
Yeah. So then they had some pre-recorded promos of Drew. He's very upset, of course. We always knew he was upset. So it's kind of the same storyline he had with CM Punk, only this time around it's Damian Priest. So of course we know that he's targeting Damian Priest. So you can just imagine what's going to happen with all of that. He's going to do kind of the same stuff with him as he did with CM Punk. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's kind of the same thing. You know, it's just a different person. But you'll kind of understand, if you listen to his spiel and everything like that and whatnot. So you'll kind of get a better idea of how he feels about it and everything of that nature. So he gets done with his spiel, and Miz TV is on this episode, and we all know who his star is. I mean, they say it at the very beginning of the show. We're not spoiling anything. Cody Rhodes is his guest star tonight on Miz TV.
Yeah, they said it last week.
And they said it last week, so that's not a spoiler. That's just what happens. So
at the beginning of the show,
Charlotte and Tiffany are still having that fight, by the way. Like, they're still having their fight out there and everything like that. Miz kind of makes a smart-ass match. He's like, that's a great way to kick off Miz TV. You know, like, ha, ha, ha. So, the same thing that Miz always does. He talks some stuff, just like Miz. He ruffles feathers. He's being an asshole and everything of that nature. Cody comes down. Some other thing. I don't know how many spoilers we want to really say about that. I don't know if it really matters.
No.
I mean, Cody just basically beats up the Miz and takes the mic and starts talking. That's what happened.
Right.
I mean, you're not really spoiling it because it normally happens on Miz TV, so it's not really too far-fetched that was what would happen.
Yeah. Cody's looking for The Rock and John Cena.
Right. So there was some stuff that happened with Nakamura. Nick Aldis, I guess, berated him for his moves with the ref.
Yeah, spitting
the mist in his face. So there's some tension there. He's not sure what he's going to do to punish him and whatever. Some other stuff with Damian happens. He comes to Nick like blah blah blah, And so at that point, this is a match that wasn't pre-done. It's an immediate Damian Priest and Nakamura match.
Right.
So that's another match that happens. A lot of things, like, they have a pretty good match, it looks like. Like, it's long. There's a lot of stuff that happens. Nakamura almost wins. The other guy almost wins. All that stuff. And I'm not really going to say, but somebody...
Storylines happen.
happens, the storyline comes around. So there's that. Which sets up some other things, right? All right. Now they're back in the back after that match with Kathy Kelly. She's in the back talking with the tag team champions DIY. Just talking about them and their upcoming match that they have with the Street Profits, which we knew they're having a match of that tonight. And all that stuff. They're just kind of talking about how nobody's on their level, yada, yada, yada. And then the Machine Gun guys, like, kind of talk to him and say, blah, 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 blah. They should, once you're done with them, you're ours. Because we have unfinished business, kind of thing. And so you're just like, whatever. And then they panned to Randy Orton, which we already knew he was there because they showed him coming in with his wife. Yeah. And then they, had him show up again. And we knew that this is that was a match they were going to have as well, is the Carmelo Hayes and him. But before that, we have Kathy Kelly still talking in the back, but she is actually talking with Chelsea Green. So she's talking with Chelsea Green, and Alba Fire is there. Mm-hmm. So if you guys are, she came out last week, she came as one of her people. So now she's actually dressed up as one of her securities or whatever you want to call, whatever you want to say. She's not understanding why Nicholas keeps throwing her into matches with Michin and stuff like that. So she's kind of upset about all that. She doesn't understand why she's having to deal with garbage all the time and everything. And then a non-garbage person gets in her face, which she can't really because she's so tiny, but Zelina Vega. And we already knew this was kind of a setup that was happening because we've seen it in all the other stuff, right? We've seen this kind of building up. We've had Zelina kind of just pop in and, and say something. So we kind of knew that something was going to come about. So we'll see how that kind of plays out as the shows go on.
And she did say she's next. The funny thing is she said I'm the next champion, right?
Uh-huh.
Well, Chelsea has to wrestle tomorrow night, so it's a spoiler for tomorrow night, because she's wrestling Sol Ruca for the title.
Oh, yeah.
Though, obviously, she's not going to lose.
Right.
I mean, we know that anyways, but right. I'm just saying for the movie, you don't want to miss the...
Right. Piccolo and Chris are in our chat as well as Sophie. Just wanted to give you guys a hello real quick.
Hello.
Piccolo said, hey, Gabbers, let's cut the bullshit. Don't be that person. Spoil the results for already that was telecasted earlier today. Exactly, right? I mean, I know, Sophie, that you're making comments and stuff like that. I'm just kind of going over some of the stuff. I'm not seeing that you guys are really, giving any spoilers, which I appreciate. Don't. I want you guys to be able to watch it live. Not really live, but watch the replay of it. And so you can see what happens for yourselves. I don't want to give you who wins because you can look that up if you really don't want to watch it. That's kind of your own choice. We already know, but we're just going to keep it on the down low. If you guys know wrestling, you probably can figure stuff out. Anyways, Chris said Jacob Fadu should be champ. That's funny. Let's see. Sophie wanted to let everybody know John Cena and Randy Orton are advertised for a Backlash pay-per-view. People's like impromptu match. Yeah, they did have an impromptu. That one was an impromptu.
Hey, when
they
is
had a couple of impromptu matches actually.
When is Backlash?
Backlash, the Backlash pay-per-view.
Did she say it in there?
No, hasn't said it.
Because I didn't know that one.
So they advertised the Backlash pay-per-view, Sophie. When do they have it set up? What day and month or whatever?
I don't have my phone with me, or I'd just Google it.
Yeah. If you could give that to us real quick. They had a couple of impromptu matches, Piccolo. It's kind of weird. The 6-man tag that's on right now, if anybody wants to think, want to watch it, that's happening right now. That was an impromptu match and another one tonight. Sophie says they think it's May 10th.
May 10th. Nice.
When it is. So cool. As Chris said, the Smackdown in Barcelona.
That is super quick.
Cousins.
Right after WrestleMania.
Yeah, some people are coming to WWE Vignette tonight. So sad for Alba, dumb gimmick, but at least she still has a job.
Yeah,
Journey
for
tonight
now.
at the rodeo. I mean, that's what it is, right? I mean, that is weird. Chris says that Backlash is in April. They advertised it for St. Louis. Forgot what day.
Okay.
Huh. Well, we'll have to look that up too.
WrestleMania is on the 19th and 20th of April.
Yeah, so Backlash would have to be May. I probably go with
even if it
Sophie's
is
time, May 10th.
I've seen them do almost back-to-back pay-per-views like
Yeah,
that.
but that would just be weird. Yeah. People's like, that's probably a good thing, Travis. Oh, that he doesn't have his phone to, like, Google
Oh, they
stuff?
have Randy Orton, Carmelo Hayes tonight.
Yeah. Yeah, which we already knew was happening, which is the one we're going to talk about next. Because
Right.
that's kind of what happens in the show after the whole Chelsea Green interview in the back and stuff like that. So then we knew that this match was happening. Randy Orton was in the back, you know, telling Carmelo Hayes he was a little piece of crap. And that, you know, ha ha ha, I'll take you any day.
Right.
Push comes to shove. Basically, you know, it's a match that happens and it's too long. But, you know, that's just my opinion. And the only reason why I say it's too long is because when you have 7 paragraphs explaining the match, it's too long. Anyways, and so some stuff happens at the end and Kevin Owens shows up. That's a spoiler I'm going to give you. So some other things do happen with that. So you'll have to watch that to see kind of what happens and where all that goes and why it happens.
Basically out of the disrespect of Hayes.
Mm-hmm.
Or it wouldn't have happened.
Yeah, definitely. So there was some more talking with Solo and Fatu, talking about how this all has to do with Braun Breaker, by the way. This is a Braun Breaker thing that telling Fatu that Braun's not on his level and Solo tells him to take him out. So Fatu confronts Braun, asking if he's ready, and he promises to dog walk him and says they'll run it back next week.
Braun Breaker, huh?
Yeah. Well, remember he was kind of going after his title. It was a thing that it kind of showed.
Well, it's on Raw, so no, I didn't know that.
Oh. Well, I don't know.
It's not Braun
maybe,
Strowman?
No, well, maybe it is. How do you spell the other one's name?
They're different, that's all I know.
I know, but are they spelled different?
Yeah.
Their first names?
Yeah.
Then maybe it's Braun Strowman.
Oh, okay.
It probably is. Then.
Okay. Yeah, because the other guy's different.
Yeah, maybe that's it. The
I was
dog
like-
walk part threw me
Yeah.
off. That's
Well, it
probably
did me
why.
too. I'm like, holy shit, he's on Raw. That'll be crazy.
Yeah, I think that's what threw me off was that part. Anyway, so that kind of happens in the back. So you know there's more story going to happen with Braun Strowman and those guys and stuff like that. And then Gunther comes down. Like, he comes down.
Good to see
he's talking
Gunther.
about how there's a reason why he's there and that he's the greatest European wrestler of all time. He would have preferred that they would have been in Madrid, not Barcelona.
It's awesome.
He talks about it, and then he talks about Spain's best wrestler. Okay, so I didn't know this. You guys might not know this, but I don't know if you'll catch it when you watch it. But I guess Axiom is from Spain, and he is Spain's national hero. And so this is another impromptu match that happens, Axiom versus Gunther. This is a non-title match. This is just because it's his hometown. It's a hometown kid. He's going after one of the greatest European wrestlers, according to Gunther, and so on and so forth. So that might be something you guys want to look at. I guess it happens. It goes for a long time, a very long one.
Yeah, Gunther basically gets buried.
So you'll have to watch that to see everything that happens. And of course, we have to have Paul Heyman talk, right? He comes out and yaks a lot, and
Did you wake up?
Heyman comes out. He kind of talks and everything of that nature. Hey, Kat, how you doing, buddy?
He
Can you lay down?
wants just
Thank
love.
you. Yeah? Did you get left downstairs all by yourself and you're sad? Oh my goodness.
He has to make sure people love him still. Come on, buddy.
Let's see. People said that's probably a good picture. And Chris had said something about meeting May. Rebecca says, hey, what happened with Alba? Nothing really. She's just part of Chelsea Green's little people now. She's kind of in that little group.
Mm-hmm. Her secret Hervis.
Chris, I think I made a mistake. I don't think it's Breaker. That's my bad. The dog walk thing threw me off. So it's probably Braun Strowman that they were talking about. So I didn't watch all of it. So I don't really know who he talked to. Some of this I read rather than watch.
Anyway.
Let's see, Sophie said Detroit is rumored to be hosting a Survivor Series.
Oh, nice.
And then Sophie's like, oh my god, no wonder why you weren't reading the chat. Yeah, talking a lot. People was like, huh? So he's like, oh yeah, Rusev and Lana got back together.
I've seen that.
Well, good for them. Make it work
Yeah,
out there.
they did their vows again. They revowed their vows.
Wow, they didn't divorce, huh?
Mm-hmm. Renewed, that's what it's called.
Anyway, so Paul Heyman comes down, starts talking about how it's Roman Reigns Day because today is the release of WWE 2K25.
It's also Pie Day if you guys didn't have Pie.
So if you were looking forward to the release of WWE's 2K25, early release was probably earlier this week, but today is the actual the day of their release. And of course, as you guys know, Roman Reigns is on the cover, so he's calling it Roman Reigns Day. He's kind of going out there and kind of just ruffling some feathers, how I look at it. And he's kind of telling the audience, like, hey, ha ha ha, if you want to say it to my face, because I'm not going to take your shit now, you'll have to come to Italy to tell me there, in Bologna, Italy. That's not how you say it, but that's how I'm saying it.
The old Bologna.
Bologna. It's Bologna. Bologna, Italy. Anyways, so all that. So then the actual main event of the night, if you guys are interested, is the Street Profits versus DIY for the Tag Team Championships. The SmackDown Tag Team Championship belts. And as we're kind of panning away from Paul Heyman and they're starting the main event match, the Street Profits happen to run into Santos Escobar and his people. They kind of have a little bit of a talking altercation in their faces. There's some smirks going on with Montez, like, yeah, whatever, dude, you know, like, ha ha ha, you're funny. All that stuff.
I wonder if they were mean to Alberto again. They're kind of hinting at a Alberto change.
A Humberto change?
With him and Andrade.
No. Have him pan off into theirs.
Mm-hmm.
Poor Angel Carson, leave him out. And then screw Humberto because Andrade will get kicked to the curb at some point. Yeah. Anyway, so they have that the tag team championship match, and as you know, DIY and the Street Profits are going to give you a grandiose fucking match of a lifetime, right?
Banger.
It's going to be long. It's going to have a lot of stuff coming in. I mean, shit's going to happen. Things are going to get real. You know, all that stuff, and then that's the end. That's the end of the That's the pay-per-view. That's the end of SmackDown. That's it. That's the final match. There were no surprises at the after or the end or anything like that. So, like I said, we're not really giving spoilers. We just wanted to talk about.
Oh God, here it is.
We just wanted to talk about the matches and things of that nature. Like right now, we have it on. Right now, Braun Strowman's doing his little weird run. Chewing through everybody, which is dumb as fuck.
The wacky
but
lap.
It happens.
Jesus Christ.
And all that stuff. And as we said before, this was a makeshift impromptu match of a 6-man tag match. So, Chris says Gunther is the best UK wrestler since Big Daddy. Serious, he was a wrestler from England. No, I mean, I understand. It's just funny that he calls himself that. People says Ricky Rubio, Pau Gasol, Vega from Street Fighter, Baby Yaga. Baba Yaga. Yes.
I know
Anyways,
all of them.
Richard
Well, I knew the basketball players that you were talking about.
Richard in the chat says Leopold is the finest pussy east of Hawaii, right? People says, yeah, I can't eat pie. Sorry. That sucks.
Any pie? Not pizza? Nothing?
Can you do like a thin crust pizza? Like, I don't know how you feel on that stuff you're taking, but I don't know if you could. Oh, by the way, we could tell you the first spoiler of the night if you haven't watched it yet.
Braun Strowman just pinned the Tiny Tongan.
Yeah, so...
And then got attacked.
So, LA Knight, Braun Strowman, and what's-his-face won the first match. So, there you go. Anyways, so that is pretty much that. We're not going to stay here and continue watching this live. As you guys all know, this was on earlier. This is a taped version of the show. It was on at like 3 p.m. Eastern time today on Netflix. I am not going to sit here and watch it. I mean, Travis is more than welcome to watch it.
I'm going to watch this.
But we are not going to stay online live to do it.
I definitely want to see Jade Cargill and Chelsea Green. So.
Yeah.
Oh, and Charlotte. So.
Right. So, I mean, there's stuff that, I mean, Travis will probably watch the whole thing. we're not going to watch it with you guys. We just wanted to come on here and kind of give you guys a kind of not really a spoiler, but a breakdown of what happens throughout the night. But you know, we are going to encourage you guys to go on there, watch it yourselves, so you can get who won the matches, and everything. We just didn't want to give you spoilers either. Like, we spoiled it for ourselves, but we want to make sure that you guys can
still enjoy
it and watch it and everything. Pico said, so Tessa Blanchard is working full-time at TNA. Yeah. Nice. That's funny. Pico also said, okay, so you're dipping. Yeah. So if you said your thoughts on TKO might be hosting a pay-per-view featuring WWE, MMA, and UFC.
I've not heard that. I did hear that they were planning on doing something together, but I thought it was on a weekend. I didn't think it was all at the exact same time. Mm. It would be interesting to see. I don't know how that would work.
Right. Pico says no need to stay, I guess. Nah. Chris says Sticky Slimy Cora made it to TNA shows since she was out with a concussion.
Yeah, like, the hardest thing for me to see would be the UFC, because they can't change their environment.
No.
They can't make them fight in a square ring.
Nope.
Like, that wouldn't be it just wouldn't be legit. The wrestling in a octagon, I mean, yes, but boxing in an octagon, there again, it's not fair for the athletes. Mm-hmm. So you'd have to have two different rings to make it work, for those two at least. But if they did it in Saudi Arabia, they have a floor in one of their buildings that goes down. Yeah. Remember, for the boxing, they raised the floor up with the ring? So they could do that. They could have another ring and then raise the cage for the UFC. Because I would assume then the UFC would have the main event. And if they did it something with like Bones Jones or something. Oh. So it was a true main event. But anyways, I have not read anything, but it would be cool to see, I guess.
Anyways, Pico says I get it completely. So says, Mandy won't be here all night. Nah. So see you sometime next week. We'll probably do the same thing on Monday.
Yeah, we'll be here Monday, just not for 3 hours.
We just won't be here for the 3 hours. We'll be here on Monday. We'll kind of do the same thing.
We'll be here all day Tuesday.
Harley.
Well, not all day, but all our show.
I'm not going to be here Tuesday.
Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday. Harley's in the chat, says hello. Hi, Harley. We just kind of did a quick overview of what happens tonight. We did not give any spoilers of who wins, though. All we did was talk about the matches that happened and some of the other things that happened in the back. That's it. Pico says Fatu is greater than Bronson Reed, right?
Yes.
So he says, you know, you could do whatever most people do by not reading the spoilers. Didn't read them at all, actually. I don't know. Did I tell you who won? Didn't tell you who won. So he says they were doing that major crossover in Saudi Arabia, and Pico says Jade kind of reminds me Wendigo?
I don't know who that is.
I don't know. Sophie says, but Monday going to be live at whatever time, though. Actually, Monday's going to be the same as tonight.
It's going to be live at 1 o'clock. You're right, but people have jobs.
Yeah, and we have jobs, so sorry, Sophie. We won't be doing it live. We'll come on and kind of do kind of what we did. We'll try to kind of just go over what happened, and that's it. Not give spoilers of who won any of the matches or anything. So we're going to bounce. Thanks, everybody, for just kind of hanging out with us for just a minute, just to kind of go over the show. Just kind of a little bit of overview of stuff of what happened. Hopefully you guys are able to get online or watch the whole show so you can see who wins and enjoy some of the wrestling. We appreciate you guys. Thank you. Have a great weekend, and we will see you again for a little while on Monday.
Thanks for